Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rob Has a Podcast. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and we are here tonight to talk through the latest episode of Big Brother Canada 11. This was a Wednesday night veto episode, an invisible veto episode with invincibility, I guess, would be the true one. And with me to talk through this invincible veto, Chantele, how you doing, Chantele?
I pledge allegiance to the crown. Am I getting batty? Am I getting savage? What do you think?
Are you a baddie?
I'm a baddie. I'm good. I'm getting batty. I'm a gamer. I'm here to play.
Are you a baddie or a goodie? Which one? You got to choose.
I'm a baddie. I hope
all right. Speaking of baddies, Scally is also with us. How you doing, Scally?
You know, I'm debating coming off of my baddie streak. I have unpissed myself. I'm ready to be here. Doing well.
Freshly unpissed Scally. Mary is with us tonight. Mary, what's the state of your piss?
The state of my piss is that it's exactly where it's supposed to be.
What a start we've gotten off to.
Yeah. You know, I'm comfortably in my my just go with it phase of Big Brother Canada 11. So I feel like we're all, you know, we've had our ups and downs. Maybe more downs than ups, but
I'm honestly like, I'm just curious because I didn't realize that Big Brother Canada had actually found the footage of me when they released that there'd be no live feeds.
I'm pissed. Capital P-I-S-S-E-D, pissed. I'm getting the heat for something I didn't even do. What the heck? I'm pissed.
for something I didn't even do.
For the rest of the day is try to unpiss myself. I have to go talk to my allies, Dan S, and go on a complete damage control tour, which is wild because I have no damage to control. This isn't my mess. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Guys, I think she's pissed.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a little hint.
It kind of sounds like she has no damage to control. So
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Are you okay? No, I'm pissed.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought the closed captions were just stuck because it just kept saying I'm pissed, and I'm like, am I missing something? That's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
boy.
realize that when you see, I thought like, okay, we know that when you're typing and when you're very serious, you do the all caps. But I didn't know that you had to say capital and then each letter. You would just say, I'm all caps, pissed. But no, I'm capital P, capital I, capital SS.
Do you think she doesn't use cap locks? She just shifts?
Yeah, probably. Shifts in between each letter.
For every letter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, she not only shifts, but she shift P, then releases. Shift
Yes.
I.
Okay, then Ty is right to not trust her.
Right?
Don't trust those people. Don't trust them.
Oh man. Well, we've got pissed off people, we've got fake fingers, we're touching Ty, and we've got baddies to talk about in this episode. As we begin with Renee being sus. Renee is sus because of her reaction to the nominations. As we talked about, we saw on the drops that people were suspecting Renee as the HOH, and we were like, why? Like, it doesn't make any sense that she would make these moves, and yet everyone seems to think it's her. And then, yeah, as Chantele demonstrated during the ceremony, she just gave the fakest real reaction I think I've ever seen in my life.
But I guess she was actually surprised. But I don't know. I wouldn't be that surprised that those two people would be nominated with what had happened last week. So the fact that she's so shocked, it is quite sus. So
she's just trying to give the producers what they want, I think, right?
Oh,
she's just trying to give a big shocked face for the show.
Reaction
and they're like,
shot. Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, boy.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of those things that you're always trying to like if you've ever played games like Werewolf or something or Mafia, that you're playing them and you're trying to think in the moment, like when, especially if you're like the bad guy, you're like, okay, what's the correct facial expression that I can do to make it seem like I'm not too suspicious? And it's like everyone's big brained that so much now. It's like you can't act surprised because then people will think you're acting surprised. So what do? Do you not look them in the eye? Do you stone face? Do you smile? What do you do? What's the correct reaction of surprise?
I think no matter what you do, the key is subtlety. The key is don't go over the top. Don't be over the top. Exactly. Just like Mary, what Mary just did was perfect. It was
So
just the
subtle.
right amount of subtlety.
Subtle. I had no idea what you're feeling.
If you have no reaction at all, that's suspicious. If you have a huge reaction, that's suspicious. The medium reaction, I think, is what you aim for.
So just look around you, look to your right, look to your left, do something in the middle.
But that's also really sus. So if you start looking at every single person, then you look like the person that's looking at every single person to try to look like they're not the person that did the action or the deed.
Mhm.
So
I think
It's
mildly
also tricky.
surprised and mildly
Like-
annoyed for the most part is the way
annoyed.
to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Can I see your version of
it's-
that, Taran?
Well, it was especially like if you're Renee and like, you know, potential allies are going on the block, just kind of like,
Okay. That's good.
yeah.
I don't think you would suspect you. No.
See, I feel like you should come
Sorry,
up
Mary
with...
just raised one eyebrow.
Yeah, it's because
So
I
off.
can't
I was
do that.
thinking, I was like, maybe you should just come up with like a signature face, which I think she has done. Like she's been shocked in all of them. People start noticing it. And if you're just like, look, no matter what the thing is, happy, sad, I'm just gonna for every single one, you just like raise an eyebrow, you just like pick a look.
I
and
mean,
it's,
I
like,
think that's slightly
unreadable.
what Santina has been doing, right? She's doing some. I can't raise an eyebrow like that.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
feel like
Santina
Santina did a
just
good
little
job.
Smirk, like a little.
like a-
In this
I think she
moment,
did a good job with the facial reaction. I don't think she did a good job with everything else. Like, for instance, when she talked to Dan.
I don't think it was you, for the record.
I would never put Ty up. Ty's my boy.
Would you put me up?
Huh?
Would you put me up?
Would I put you up?
Yeah, you said you never put Ty up.
I would never put Ty up.
just say, of course I would never put you up. Just say, of course I wouldn't put you up.
So bad.
Answer.
And she spends the rest of the episode, like in every conversation, just inserting at any possible moment. By the way,
Ty's my
I would
boy.
never put my boy Ty up. So obviously it's not me because I wouldn't put Ty up because Ty's my boy, you know? And like say for instance, I won the veto. I would use it on Ty because he's my boy and I would never put him up. So, you know, it's not me.
I feel like she truthfully doesn't have a good reason though to say like I don't know that she could sell like, oh yeah, I would never put Dan up either. She'd be like, well, like that one I'll have to pass on that one. That one could be a
Just don't
thing.
say to Dan, who just went up. Well, it's he just said, I don't think it's you, by the way. That's it.
Yep.
Take the W. Walk away. You're beating the dead Dan Zabo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as he says he believes you, you don't have to convince him further. Like, the job's already done.
And this is not the first or last time she has put her foot in her mouth. Between the I am only ticklish from people that I like to I would never put up my boy Ty, Dan, who just went up on the block. She also had one with Ty at the end there. Just constantly just saying things that people go, wait, what are you saying?
Well, it's like when you're lying about something, you don't want to give too much information because then people are like, wait, someone that's telling the truth wouldn't be giving that much information. So she definitely has not learned the art of subtlety whatsoever in her lives. Poor thing. But she probably thinks that she's doing a good job following people around and telling them that Ty's her boy. And she would never do that to him.
And then also when he questions it and he's like, wait, would you put me up? She's like, would I put what up? What was your question? Would you put me? You just said you wouldn't put Ty up. Would you put me up? Well, yeah, I wouldn't put Ty up.
She's sticking to it. At least she has her story straight.
Oh boy, it astounds me that after all of that, Dan is still like, nah, it's Renee for sure.
And
Dan-
Renee makes good points. I mean, like
Mhm.
even saying like Santina campaigned against Ty all last week, and we're just gonna believe that like like she's so steadfast on never wanting to put him up, but not good enough.
Yeah, Dan says in the diary room, he says, Renee is close to Cece and Nene or whatever. Claudia and Shania. Claudia and Shania are close with me and Ty. So it only makes sense that Renee would target me and Ty.
I mean, I guess to
It's like-
have them to herself, you know, her girlfriend.
Wait, no, that only makes sense in the weird world that Zach and Ty created where you target your allies. In no other world does that make sense. I get that's who taught you how to play this game, but Dan, no, that's not how it works.
He didn't even give an answer. He just said that's the thing that makes sense for them to target. I appreciated the fact that Renee like at least was vocal about the fact that it wasn't her. Like I feel like you gotta at least keep fighting it, because I feel like if it was you, you would just be like, oh, I just don't want to go talk to them. I don't want to even touch that.
But the whole like argument, like when you watch this back, you're gonna know.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, don't say that, because people that are lying always say that. Please, Renee, shooting yourself in the foot here.
It also just like, it seemed like everything kind of went out the window for Renee here, where like right after the veto ceremony, everyone's going up to Ty as he's like pulling up his pants for 10 minutes. And and she's and Hope is like, can I talk to Ty for a sec? And Renee was like, no, I need to talk to Ty first. And Hope was like, so can I talk to Ty for a sec? Like, what is happening here? Renee has just like crumbled in front of our eyes, and nothing that she's doing seems to be working. It only seems to be furthering the hole that she has dug for herself with the reaction that she had.
Well, isn't she supposed to be close friends though with Hope? Like, when
Yes.
did that dissolve? Now?
I mean, certainly it must have been part of it. We know that Hope said on some drops last week that he felt like Renee only really talked to him when, you know, she needed to, and didn't hang out with him otherwise. And now, you know, like there just seems to be a rift between them, and this is a big example of that. I imagine. You know, this was just very awkward.
What does Renee need to do to get some, I don't know if it's like power, respect, or something back in the game? Trust.
It's so hard to say because there's so much we don't know about her situation, unfortunately. But like, you have to, like, there comes a point where I think going on a campaign of it's not me, it's not me, it's not me, like it can work, but if it lasts for too long, because people already suspected you a lot, then like it's just gonna stick it onto you. It's like you know, like, okay, it's either Renee or it's not Renee, because we've only been thinking about it being Renee at this point. And like trying to pin it onto Santina, I think was a better call, because you've created another like option for people to latch onto. But it felt like most of her efforts were just focused on it's not me. It's not me. I would never do it. It's not me. And I don't think that lands for people who already think it's you. You need to again provide them with an alternative theory, because just saying your theory is wrong and not giving any other information or reason is not going to convince people, I think.
And I think she could really shore up like her other allies that are close with Dan and like have them do the work for her, because Renee spent the first like 3 weeks, 2 rounds of the game on the block. I don't know how much social capital she really has in the house. And I think that if you have someone like Shania who's closer with Dan, like really fighting for you, that's going to probably do more.
Yeah, and I think when you are talking to your closer allies, ideally, you're not saying to them, it's not me, I swear it's not me. You're saying, Okay, so you guys obviously know it's not me. Like, what can we do about this? Because this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, if you give that frantic energy to the people that you're supposed to trust, you not trusting them makes them not trust you even more, even if they didn't trust you to begin with.
Right. Because then you're just going to leave the room and they'll be like, well, that was weird. Seems very suspicious and out of character if we're supposed to be working together.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Everyone thinks it's Renee. Renee is gonna question Hope. I think you know who it is. And he's like, what are you talking about? And this is again just like kind of like trying to drag this out of him and being like, I swear I'm not going down for this. I know you know who it is, Hope. What does that do for you? Like Hope is not gonna feel great about you after this, even if he was inclined to before. Like this is not the way to treat the relationships that you have in the game.
Yeah.
Well, and threatening people, like you're just like, or else what? Like, I wish that she just had taken the approach of like maybe being the victim a little bit and being like, man, like this sucks. Like I didn't want to be in this position, and then maybe try to build these bridges as opposed to like make people annoyed with you every time you came around them because you're demanding answers from them, and you're like just really pushing people away. She doesn't really have a handle on her social game, in my opinion, and I don't think that she's going to be able to get out of it. I think she's going to be up on the block the next week if she doesn't have power. Like people are just, I think, are going to be willing to dispose of her.
Yeah, she's in an odd place where she's not a threat. She's not really someone that it even really benefits anyone to get out, like in terms of a power move. Like you could just remove her just to do it, make things simpler. But she's also not bringing a ton of value to anybody's alliance. Like she's not someone who's, I mean, I'm not saying like get rid of her if you're her ally. What I'm saying is that she's not someone that you can say, okay, I could fully trust and strategize with her. And clearly you can't count on her to talk her way out of something if she's in trouble. So yeah, it's kind of an odd situation, but I think we've seen players like her recover. So she could, but she would, in order to recover, she would need to understand what it is she's doing wrong. And I'm not sure that she does.
Like this is the thing too. The veto ceremony happened on Monday, which means that there's a ton of time before Thursday and then even more time before Friday when the next nominations happen. I don't think that you need to be this pressed about people thinking that it's you on Monday when the next set of you're safe until at least Friday. And the truth always comes out in the game, you know, like unless it's a very short-term thing and maybe you're locked away outside and you can't access the information inside, the truth is probably going to come out and people are going to find out who the real HOH was. And what they think of you after they find out the truth is going to depend on how you handled the situation when they thought it was you. Did you freak out and start talking about fake fingers?
Don't ever point a fake finger at me. Ever. I'm pissed.
Or did you keep your calm and stay level and loyal to your people and, you know, like just be like, yeah, it's not me. And then when you find out it wasn't them, be like, oh, that was dumb of us. Or are you going to be like, okay, maybe it wasn't her, but I'm still very emotionally invested in how she made me feel over that course of time. And so maybe it wasn't her, but I'm still not into Renee.
Yeah, she didn't make anybody want to hang around with her, around her, or like care that it's whether it's her or not her. They just are not appreciating her company at all. For Renee.
Yeah. So we do get a little bit of other things before the veto competition. In fact, a few other things before the veto competition. Hope is playing in the veto, so Ty is going to attempt to rekindle his relationship with Hope a little bit. And Hope says, you silly goose. Of course I'm not going to trust you.
I was so pleased to see Hope have that reaction because like, he did a pretty good job, in my opinion, of like being like, yo, bro, like I got you. Like we're still in this together. I forgive you for everything. And then we got like the captions of him swearing, F no, F that. Like I was happy that Hope is playing the game here and is not being hosed by Ty anymore. So
Yeah, seeing Hope being like, "Oh, I'm gonna make things right," like that can make me nervous. Like I could see Hope like almost buying into this narrative. Kind of feels like he did for a little bit on the episodes last week, even. But very glad to see him turn it around and being like, "I'm not buying any of this. Like, goodbye."
Yep. And we also see some stuff from Daniel, who's like, oh my God, I know what I look like in the episodes last week. I look like an idiot. I look like a dummy. And Koozie's like, you don't look like an idiot. You just look soft.
soft is so bad.
What? No, I'm not soft. I'm a baddie.
It's giving
No.
soft, Daniel.
soft. But like, I really love this dynamic between them because like some people might get really offended if you know Koozie's saying like, "Oh, you're soft," but like it was quite light how that little interaction was, and they're kind of giggling about it. Koozie has some good delivery. I laughed quite a bit at that little section.
Yeah, he's like, I'm savage. No.
You're giving soft.
And Ty talks to Claudia about, again, can't trust Renee, and Ty of course takes this opportunity to be like, listen, I have been telling you since day one not to trust that girl, you know, like and now look at me, I am proven right. You should never have put your trust in Renee. And Claudia's like, oh man, Ty, you were so right.
I did cringe though as soon as that scene popped up because they're all like cuddling and holding.
It was another zoomed in hand caress.
Exactly.
Lots of Ty touching in this episode.
I definitely cringed.
I don't know if you had like, was that on anyone's bingo board for like what's gonna bug Taran the most this season of like too many close zooms on weird caresses?
It's like, what is happening with this? Why is this like 5 minutes of the season so far?
That was
Are
way
you
too
gonna clip
fast.
them
You gotta
all
do it
together?
a lot slower.
Oh. Oh no.
You gotta like play with the fingers, you know, a little bit of that.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You know, that's what we're gonna get you for your birthday, or like a belated birthday present. We're gonna clip all the close-up hands together and just have one
Montage.
whole, yeah, exactly.
Make it a pillow.
Oh man. So you know, there it is. You know, is Claudia? You know, can't trust Renee. Can trust Ty. All makes sense. Hope has some more ideas for the game. The biggest one being it's time to create a new alliance, and according to the episodes, at least, which quite frankly, historically have been very incorrect about this. Hope is the one that starts this alliance. And he pitches to Koozie, Daniel, or really first Koozie, Anika, and Jonathan, and then Daniel comes in, that the 5 of them should combine their efforts and form a super team called the Crown. Yes. And this is a powerful alliance. That you know, these are 5 people who have no reason to not trust each other, who have come together, and they are sharing information, and they are currently in a lot of power, and they are currently also kind of like using somebody else's HOH to benefit themselves and set themselves up for the future, which makes it even more effective. And this is a fun scene of these people coming together, Skyline.
This is a ton of fun. I am only sad that we are not getting to watch it play out in the real time, but I really like this alliance. I think it has a ton of potential. I feel like we had kind of one side of the house already a little bit together, and we're always begging, like, the other side of the house, why aren't you realizing this? Why aren't you coming together and forming something? And it feels like we kind of finally have that in the Crown. So I'm very excited to see what this combination of players can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not very often where you like everybody in a group. At least at this point, anyways. I'm like, okay, I want to see how this group of people, this configuration, how they're going to work together, because I like them all and I want to see them all do well. So let's go, the Crown.
Yeah, and it works very well. I mean, you have all of the other people in the house, like Ty and Claudia are now anti-Renee, and Renee is anti-Santina, which led to this exchange.
Just be cool about it, then. It's no.
No, I don't feel like being cool about it right now.
Yeah.
I'm irritated.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel like being cool about it. Actually, I respect that so much. Actually, of all of the I'm pissed, this was my favorite.
Yeah, I do like that. Don't tell me how to feel. One thing about the crown that's nice is at this point in the game, you could see it going where like this is finally an alliance that kind of benefits all of the people in it. Like not a single person is, they could sort of manipulate if any one of them won in HOH, they could structure it to where it works best for them. I mean, if Jonathan has Santina, like there's ways where that's sort of the good for him and potentially Hope. Because I think you worry a little when it's like, why would you want to be part of the 2 that's in a 5? You want to be part of the 3 that's in a 5. But I think any one of these people I could see sort of mixing up their pairs, bonding, making new relationships there. So that's pretty comforting compared to like before everybody was mad at Renee. It does not super benefit Renee to be in a 5-person alliance with Claudia, Shania, and the 2 guys, because that's not, Renee's not in a great spot there. So this is a much more equal-footed alliance.
Well, we do get to the veto competition, and the purpose of this veto competition is to put 500 pounds of sacks of fake money onto your counter. And man, what is there to really talk about with this competition? They do it.
We learned that Daniel does a lot of escape rooms.
There you go.
See,
maybe he'll do well on one of those like a Final 5 veto where they do those like escape room-esque things.
Mm-hmm.
When Daniel like pulls it off the wall and immediately is like, oh, I have to unscrew these and do this, I would, being in that position, would think, well, this comp wasn't made very well.
Like, right? Usually in escape rooms, you're not supposed to take things apart.
That's true.
So I think that I might get the wrong idea and be stuck there for quite a while of like, oh, the production really could have stepped it up on this one.
Well, people were like, am I gonna break this? Can I break this? Like they were quite nervous about taking things apart.
Did anyone clock the who came in last for this one? I just noticed that it was like someone only got like 200 pounds. It was way less than everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Oh,
I feel like I'm like notoriously bad at guessing amounts of things and like big numbers, but I feel like I could have at least done this one. I think if you just like pick something up, you're like, this is approximately 10 pounds. You could at least get close. I think it'd be hard to be more than half of the way off.
Well, it was probably, for Hope, it was that dog in him.
I got that dog in me.
Right. Got in the
Dogs
way.
notoriously are terrible at weighing things. So.
Right.
But did it frustrate you how long that Ty was just slowly just strolling around looking for that key? Like there was like zero hustle, no like real drive to like try to win this competition. And then, he threw some bags on the scale at the end. But I was like, do you not want to win this? Like, why are you walking around until you have 5 minutes left to try to complete this competition?
To be fair, he came in 3rd place.
Yeah, he did, but he was just too chill for me. It annoyed me.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave them reference weights though, because watching Dan just use this as an opportunity to get a workout in at most points was pretty funny.
There were people in the chat that were like, well, do you think that people who are used to lifting weights would have an advantage in this competition? And you did kind of see they were doing like some lateral raises, like because if you work out with weights, then you like can feel for like, I usually would lift this much weight for this lift. So I can feel what it feels like to do, a certain amount of reps with it, maybe. But that didn't exactly help Dan
Anybody?
or Ty, since maybe Claudia mentioned that she's very used to like the 10 and 20 pound sort of weights. So it might have helped her, but we've seen Daniel's sort of general disdain for Nika's workouts. So I think probably the least amount of experience there, and yet by far the best performance. So is it that much of an advantage? Doesn't seem like it.
It seemed mostly like Daniel was the one who was just least nervous about going over and just kind of kept putting stuff on.
Mm.
I mean, I like this variation on the like guess the amount of elapsed time sort of challenge.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really liked when Daniel was like, I'm worried I'm under. Let me add $3 bills to the stack and see if that helps. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in terms of it being a competition that gives everyone a good chance of winning, I think solid. Was it like super exciting to watch? Again, for me, not super exciting. I liked that anytime they showed the current amount of weight that the person had, that excited me because I was like, okay, maybe I can start to follow, but I felt like it was too few and far between that we have actually got those. So I wasn't able to follow like, oh, Daniel's doing the best right now, and Claudia's right behind him. Like it just felt like, okay, they're just in the middle of it right now, and who knows when this is happening.
Was it
When
Big
I-
Brother 4 where they did a similar challenge where you had to lift up your partner and then try to like find stuff that weighed the same amount as them? I feel like
It was definitely
it was like
there
an
was
early
definitely
Big Brother thing.
there's definitely one where you had to like hold up your partner, and there were questions that they asked you, and then
I feel like
I
I
don't-
remember something. Oh, you know what? No, it was Big Brother 3 because I remember Amy being like, and I noticed that I weighed the least out of all the
Oh.
other women or something. Like I feel like that was a thing. I feel like I remember that. But so they have done this type of thing before in Big Brother.
Well, ultimately, we do see that Daniel is going to win this veto. And he's going to talk to Koozie and Anika about it. They celebrate, and very quickly they start talking about, so if we use this on Ty, I was very like curious to know what the origin of this plan was, and they kind of just skipped right over it.
Yeah, I wanted to see if like how it all came together, and I was like, I didn't think it was necessarily the best idea. I kind of wanted to see them to stay up on the block and then see people try to curry some favor and like, you know, try to be like, hey, like we're going to keep you in this game, like let's make some deals. And so the fact that we have this happen and we have no idea why it's happened or, you know, how it originated, it's kind of was frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like, give us everything. If you're not going to give us the feeds, give us more, please.
To hear like, oh, if we pull Ty down, he'll always be loyal to us. Like he will. Like I don't know your relationship at all. That would be nice to have any context on.
Then Jonathan comes in, like on cue, the perfect information for them to receive after discussing this potential plan. Well, we could use it on Ty, but we don't know who's going up on the block as a replacement. So I don't know if that works. Cue Jonathan. All right, guys. This doesn't leave the room. All right. This is, you ever see me wear a hat? This is like that. Okay.
This means something.
I know who the HOH is. It's Santina. And here's the plan. Bit by bit. If Ty comes down, Claudia goes up. If Dan goes down, Shania goes up. Just in case any of you happen to win the veto and are thinking about using it. So we're good. And they're like, oh, awesome. Thank you so much for trusting us with that information, Jonathan. Do we have anything for you? No, nothing at all. Not yet. And then he leaves and they're like, this is amazing.
Because they were already confident. They're like, even if we go up, like we'll have the numbers. We're not worried about it. Again, I would love to know how they're so confident in that. But for them to get that confirmation of like, you will not even touch the block regardless if you pull someone down, I feel like gives them just an easy go ahead.
Yeah. So
yeah, I still feel like that if it was me and it is an invisible HOH, I would just say, hey, let's just protect all of us and not use the veto and just enjoy the rest of the week. I mean, I think it's going in a fine it ends up going in a fine direction for them, but that's a lot of confidence in your brand spanking new alliance.
yeah, well, they make the pitch. They make the pitch to Jonathan and Hope. They say, hey, we're thinking about using the veto on Ty. We can use that as leverage to stop him from targeting you guys in the future. And at first, Hope seems pretty against it. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. But eventually they seem to come around to the idea, and that's the plan.
Here's what I'm confused about, though, is Daniel's like, don't worry, I'm going to use this to barter with Ty. Oh, and I'll like get it for all of us. It'll work for all of us. But who else is he putting up? Like, who's in this house? I need you to protect 5 people, please. And that basically leaves Santina and all of your allies. So good luck.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very good for Jonathan and Hope. Hope should be saying no to this. Jonathan should be saying no to this. This has been a big topic of the week is just how quickly these two crumbled, and not only crumbled but got very excited about this move. Like, oh, this is perfect. Daniel's gonna protect us. This is great.
These boys, these boys are not like. I think they want to just be part of something and like know what's going on, and so I think that they're kind of being misted by being in the know and hoping that they're gonna, they know about this plan, so that means like Ty is going to protect them later on. And I don't think that they're actually realizing that like they need to be the person that's doing the favor for Ty to want to protect them. It can't be like 1 degree removed that they're getting protection. So I think they just want to be excited and be playing the game.
Yeah, especially for Jonathan. It's like he's got some information. He feels like, okay, now's the time. Exciting things are happening. You can kind of get on a high of like sharing secrets. And, I think this is kind of the moment where you're like, I'll just tell them what I know. What's the worst that could happen? Instead of thinking, I have info. How can I make sure this works out well for me, not just right now, but in the future?
Well, they go ahead and make this move with Ty. Daniel is going to be sitting in the pool room like he's Dr. Evil as Ty walks in, and Daniel's like, I've been expecting you, Ty. How do you feel about this week? What are your targets moving forward? It's very funny. So who are you looking to target next week? And Ty says, Renee. And he's like, perfect. On that note, I've won the veto, and I plan to use it on you, Ty. And Ty's like, oh, great. Perfect. That's what I thought.
Well, I know Ty's not a fan of Renee, but do you think he was just saying that because that's the answer that you need to say in order to get somebody to like if they're calling him to talk to him about something, like Renee is the answer here, right?
I think he's genuine about it. I mean, from what we've seen on the drops, which is very little from Ty, but from what we've heard from Claudia and from, the house, that like he seems to be looking at Renee at this point. So I think it makes sense. And, he's also been targeting Renee for 2 weeks.
Fair.
So, yeah. So the plan goes through, and Daniel plans to use the veto on Ty. Now, it does seem like Hope is having some slight second thoughts about should we be taking Dan out over Ty, because Ty, you just can't trust him. He's like a hot stove.
When you touch fire and you know it's hot, you don't touch it again.
Sure.
We've touched Ty. We know what it's like.
Ty, we know what it's like. Some people should not.
Everybody raise your hand in this group call if you've touched Ty, okay? It's okay. We can admit it. We know what it's like.
It's very slow and zoomed in. It's very a lot of finger touching.
A lot of fake fingers involved. Where Jacob Jones, I think, is the foreperson of this support group.
Oh my gosh. Have you been personally victimized by touching Ty? Will you do it again?
We've touched Ty. We know what it's like.
Yeah, but Hope, who very obviously came in last place. I mean, they're running up and through. Like, you can see ish how much people have, and Hope's like, well, I'll just claim I won the POV, even though my stack was half the size of everyone else's. Like, sure, that works.
Everyone went way over. Yeah, from Koozie's perspective, how is this move of taking Ty down actually benefiting her, though? Because, I mean, I can see why it's benefiting Daniel, especially if Daniel's the one conveying the information. But for Koozie, she did literally just tell him, "You're next," and then is helping to take him off the block.
So this is actually a little bit of intrigue to do with the drops, and I will keep it spoiler free. But Koozie did say to the cameras that she planned on taking credit for this veto play, and there's some speculation on Daniel's part that she may have gone and talked to Ty about this before he did. And watching Ty in this conversation, Ty's not a very like reaction-y person. He doesn't give a lot of reaction. He's especially not the kind of person to give like a like, oh, thank you so much, I really appreciate what you're doing for me kind of reaction person. But he did seem particularly like, oh, you won the veto? That's great. Oh, you plan to use the veto on me? Yes, that's what I thought. I think he even said the words like, yeah, that's what I thought. I think he said that or something along those. It definitely felt like he might have known. So at the very, like, we didn't see it in the episodes. I don't know if this happened or not, but we do know, to answer your question, that Koozie is, I'm sure, we haven't seen it, but I'm sure doing work with Ty to make it seem like she's the one that got Daniel to do this.
I feel like we need better acting all around. If just once, I would love to see someone like do what Daniel did, go to someone and be like, I'm going to save you using this thing, and then get a reaction that doesn't seem like genuine or shocked or happy enough to be like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe there's more going on here. You need to be playing your part the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. That, for the audio listeners, was a visual gag. So we get to the veto ceremony, and we see, in fact, that Ty is going to be removed from the block, and he is acting like that's right, I did that. And Claudia goes up in his place. Claudia is shocked. She did not think that she would be the person to replace Ty, nor should she be, considering the position she was in last week, which was quite a crushing one. But at least she knows who is behind it all. Renee! She can't trust Renee. She's too untrustworthy. Which this is giving me some major flashbacks to last season when we heard this.
You really suck at lying.
That's the thing, is Claudia going up here should take almost all suspicion off of Renee, but Renee is doing such a bad job of convincing everyone that it's not her, that even her closest allies are like, damn it, Renee. Like, really? This is so rude. So, yeah, not good on Renee's part.
Yeah. This is where we are. Claudia and Dan on the block. Doesn't exactly look great for Dan. I mean, when he saw Claudia go up next to him, he looked like, oh, okay, I'm screwed.
Yeah, but maybe he should be talking to people like when he had power, or, you know, like any single time in this game, he hasn't talked any game to anybody, even when they've been giving them opportunity. And so he has no one to blame but himself. And he was aligned with people that nobody likes. Like, I don't know. He's played poorly from the start, so can't really feel that bad for him.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've got then for this episode. Anything else from the episode that we should talk about?
No, I don't know. I think good on Daniel for recognizing that it's good to play the power of veto as if it's an open secret, because there are so few people competing, and also especially given the outcome, that's going to narrow out other people, that like you just play it as open. People are going to find out anyway, and then you can get something from it rather than trying to hide it.
Yeah. It's I mean, look, you take advantage of the power that you get, and when you use the power or don't use the power, take advantage of the decision that you made, and you can't do that if people don't know it's you. So There's definitely a lot of advantage to be had with sharing what you're doing. There are, I'm sure, niche scenarios where doing something completely anonymously can benefit you, but most of the time, like, there's a reason why people that win comps tend to, you know, be in power positions. That not only do they have that power that they won, but they also get the benefit of the relationship building and respect that people have for you when you win those competitions. You wield that power. So we'll see.
I have to say though, I'm happy that this invisible HOH veto week is done, because it was just not that interesting to watch. There wasn't that much gameplay. Nobody was really leveraging anything, and so I'm happy that that's out the door. And hopefully, we're not going to have any twists that are going to be like game stunting. So
Yeah,
there's
it was
that.
giving soft.
It was totally giving soft.
I'm a baddie.
What I really like about that soundbite is that you hear Koozie in the background, and she can't can't even let him get through it because
I'm a baddie.
Imagine talking to Koozie and being like, "I'm the baddie here." Okay.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that's the episode then. There is some stuff to talk about from the drops. So if you want to hear that, then you're gonna have to sit through the spoiler song.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Okay. Well, what do we have to spoil you on? Dan and Claudia are on the block, and Dan is definitely looking like he's going home, from what we can tell. The crown seems to be flourishing, but this move to use the veto on Ty seems to have paid off, and there is now an alternative universe alliance. It's sort of like the dark timeline version of the crown that is Ty and Claudia with Koozie, Daniel, and Anika. They are not as loyal to that group. They prefer Jonathan and Hope, but basically it just, it's a backup in case Ty wins. And then they've got Ty pointed at Renee and Santina. And then if they keep winning, then eventually they're gonna have to take out Jonathan and Hope for them. But if they can help it, they would side with Jonathan and Hope first. The big news of the game was that Renee has just completely tanked in the perception of the house. It was tough to determine like how exactly that happened. I think we just saw the start of it on tonight's episode with all of this "it's not me, I'm pissed" stuff going on.
I'm pissed. Capital P-I-S-S-E-D, pissed. I'm getting the heat for something I didn't even do.
But the weird thing is that nobody seems to like hang with Renee anymore in the game. But one of the big reasons she's being actively targeted is that everyone's saying she's with Santina now. She's a number for Santina. She's the closest person to Santina.
Just be cool about it, then.
No, I don't feel like being cool about it right now.
Yeah.
I'm irritated.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Because there's literally no one else who can hang out with Santina right now. And when you're Renee and everyone else has shunned you, that's your option, Renee does not strike me as someone who it would just be chill, like sitting by herself for the rest of the game. So I think she just needed to go find another pal.
Yeah. I don't
Maybe.
know. I feel like if Santina goes home soon, I could see Renee like kind of getting forgotten about and recovering, but she needs to get away from her pretty quick.
Yeah. For the record, we have not seen Renee with Santina in probably 2 weeks. So I have no idea where this came from. And then, as I sort of briefly mentioned as well, there is some talk now. There was a talk between Daniel and Anika about, hey, we both see how good Koozie is, right? Because like she's really good. And by the way, I think she's trying to take credit for me using Veto on Ty. I think she talked to him before I did. You know, just something to keep in mind. We're not gonna do anything about it anytime soon, but something to keep in mind. You know,
Taran,
look.
you're sounding a little soft by saying that.
What are you talking about?
I'm a baddie.
I'm a baddie. I'm a baddie. Come on, guys. You guys know I'm a baddie.
You're giving soft.
But I'm
a bad
boy.
I'm a bad boy.
That's a nice little battle of the audio clips.
A baddie battle.
Patty
Hey,
battle.
every season since I'm a bad boy happened, somebody has claimed to be a bad boy / baddie. So, you know, to varying success.
Who was 24's baddie bad boy?
Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta go. It's giving soft. It's giving soft.
Give me 10 seconds.
Very
It's
soft.
giving
Oh no.
floaty.
Oh no. We need to unpiss ourselves right now. Oh man. All right. Well, that's kind of where things stand at the moment. Of course, with the Shady Bunch just firmly at the center of everything. And the girly pops seem to have melted. I don't know. In my eyes, I always just imagined like an icicle pop,
Just
ice
girly.
cream pop.
It's just pops.
I
Yeah,
was thinking more lollipop.
maybe
like
maybe
a
it's like
circular
lollipop. So then it's like the owl licked it all the way to the center kind of deal.
How many licks
Uh,
did it take to get to the center of the girly pops?
Good song.
Renee will never know.
Or I guess it could be like soda pop, like the pop went flat, you know?
Mm,
No more pop in the pop.
yeah.
Oh, you guys say pop? I thought you guys said soda.
I don't.
Oh,
Pop
okay.
till you drop.
You
Oh,
know,
right,
I
we're
know it
Canadian.
exists.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Big Brother Canada.
I heard plenty of bags today on the Big Brother Canada, which is a Survivor
bag.
reference from
Fair.
tonight's episode. But yeah, that's where we are. I mean, the girly pops really fall from grace with the position they were in last week. The Shady Bunch rises to power in the crown. Jonathan and Hope are riding high, but not quite aware that they have no safety net. And Claudia and Ty are still rubbing hands.
It's for you, Taran.
So we're not missing much.
Too long. This has been happening for too long.
Oh boy. Anything else that you guys want to talk about tonight?
I'm good.
We can talk about something else. Yeah, what else is going on?
Bags.
Well, there was a Survivor episode
No.
tonight, and I will be talking through Survivor on the Survivor Stock Watch this week, so make sure you tune in for that. I will be back tomorrow for another update to see if we get any more information on like what happened with Renee and how she's been associated with Santina all of a sudden. Like, do they think that she was just pretending? Do they think it was all like a big act? I don't know. But maybe we'll find out in the update tomorrow, in the drop tomorrow. And then, of course, tomorrow night, we'll have an eviction. We'll very likely see Dan leave and then have to wait until Friday to see who won HOH. So that'll be fun. But we will be live after the eviction to talk through it all. And maybe we'll then find out what happened with Renee from what we see in the episodes. So tune in for all of that. You can find me on Twitch as well, watching these episodes live with all of you. Twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. Chantele, what do you got going on?
You can always find me on Instagram at ShanFranFran or on my YouTube channel, Reality Realness with 3 S's, where I mostly talk about the Challenge Global Championships, which has been really fun this week. So yeah, let's go chat about it.
Yes. Scally, how about you?
Anything I'm doing will be over on Twitter at Brian_Scally, also talking about the Challenge Championship over on the Tom and Colin podcast with Matt Ligori. So that's been a ton of fun. And like I said, anything else will be on Twitter.
All right. And Mary?
You can follow me everywhere at Frail Mary, and really excited to announce that Riverdale's final season is back. So that is being covered over on Kowski Cast, Cow with a K, with myself and Kirsten McInnes. And Love is Blind season 4 also going strong. So myself and Asia are covering that, and we're nearing the end of the season. So make sure you check that out. And I'm doing well. I just started watching Ted Lasso for the first time, so I'm riding high right now. It's great.
There you go. Believe. All right. Well, that's what we have for you tonight, and we will see all of you next time.
We've touched high. We know